I'd like to introduce someone that I think truly doesn't require an introduction in this group, and that's Congresswoman Bass. Karen's the co-founder of the Congressional Foster Care Caucus, and I think for so many of us working in the foster care area, working in the overall area of social policy, Karen is really our leader. I've had the privilege of working closely with her for a number of years on a whole range of issues, and I think that it's something about her combination of work and commitment and leadership that makes her so important. And I'd like to just two quick examples, I think, that indicate those things. The first is the work and the commitment. A judge once told me the story of Karen without press, without staff, without any notice, spending the better part of a half a day in the courtroom, dependency courtroom, and then going back to chambers in between the cases to ask questions and learn about how the court system worked and how it was dealing with children that were part or becoming part of the foster care system. And it's that kind of work and research and gaining knowledge that I think has given Karen the basis of the kind of work that she's done. And the other example is that I've also had a chance to see her leadership. We sponsored a bill back when Karen was Speaker of the State Assembly that has been enormously important in providing services to Medi-Cal and indigent patients in California. And this bill was critically necessary. It's now provided almost $8 billion for the care of Medi-Cal and indigent patients in California. Typically, we couldn't get one Republican vote for that bill, and it was very difficult to get through the legislature. And this is a true story. On the very last day, the very last night that bill could pass the legislature and be enacted into law, there was a roadblock because the Republicans were blocking it. They wanted something like tax credits for yacht owners or something in exchange. And I'm sorry, this is nonpartisan. And Karen was then Speaker of the Assembly, and she literally locked down the Assembly, wouldn't let the Assembly leave on the last night of the session until that bill was passed, and it was passed at about 5:45 in the morning. And I'll never forget the image of Karen sitting in the speaker's chair, totally fresh at 5:30 in the morning, as if it was 10 in the morning, and not letting those legislators go home until the bill was passed. And so I think it's that combination of work and commitment and leadership that makes her so important. Congresswoman Bass.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wish we could use some of those tactics in D.C., but we can't get away with them in D.C. like we could in Sacramento. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. This conference has long been talked about and planned with all the hard work from Grace under the leadership of Conway Collis, and I'm really glad that we're here today to make this come alive. I have enjoyed working with Conway on so many different issues. He mentioned a couple in terms of health care, but getting Grace started as an organization that is going to focus on poverty, I think is just going to be one of the most important organizations in our state right now, given the significance of that issue, and then unfortunately so little attention that is paid to it in Washington. And then we're all here today to talk about child welfare, but we know that one of the root causes of children being in the system to begin with is the issue of poverty. So it was that interrelationship that led to Conway wanting to form GRACE, but also wanting to begin the launch of GRACE by looking at this issue. So we all need to give him another round of applause. Thank you very much.